Hi there. Today on the show, we have got Michele Blood here with us. I am so honored and delighted to have you here, Michele. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for asking me, Sue. I love the title alone. Blossom, you're awesome. Woo! I feel like writing a song about it.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Yes, and we're going to talk all about your songs. You are this world-renowned teacher. You've written books, you've written songs. Give us a backstory here, how you got into this line of work.
Well, I was singing professionally since I was 5 on TV. And so I started very young being a singer and had many rock bands in Australia. And then eventually I found the right combination with my band, and we had hit records and we toured all over Australia, one stage, 7 years nonstop. And so it was a very tough life, but I loved it. And, once we got our record label and started making videos, then you start having a bit more fun. You don't stay in as many cockroach palaces. Seriously, when you're on the road. So, so I was the manager of the band and the lead singer, and I would, get all the different people. Just did some crazy things to be able to get record labels interested. And, I'll just tell you one quick thing that I did once. I wanted to go and see the head of A&R at this particular place, and they were in a meeting, and I dressed myself up because I can tap dance too. I can do a lot of things. And so I dressed myself up as a singing telegram. And I said, oh, this is a special surprise for so-and-so's family, the head of A&R. Oh, but he's in a meeting. She said, but I think that'd be fun. So I brought in my ghetto blaster, tap danced in, and made up this little ditty. And he was so delighted. And then I said, however, that none of that is true. I'm only here because I'm from my band and I want you to listen to our demo. He said, put it on. And the reason I got an idea for doing that, I was just always willing to do whatever it took, because you've heard of the Australian band Men at Work.
Yes.
Okay, so what they did to get their record label, because they couldn't get anyone to come and see their gigs either. Because back in those days, you weren't signed until you had thousands of people coming to your gigs every night on your own merit, marketing yourself. And so what they did, they hired a camel, and they brought a camel into the office, and they said, we're not leaving. This camel's going to shit all over your carpet until you listen to our music. That's how they got signed.
Wow.
You
I love it.
got to be creative. But then what happened to me was, I was with the truck. We'd driven 12 hours from a gig in Brisbane to Sydney, and the truck driver fell asleep. And as the passenger, all the equipment went into me. And so that's when my life changed completely. The worst thing that could ever have happened to someone who sings and dances and does all the crazy stunts I did on stage was to be in a massive accident and have broken bones, everything, just, nearly touch and go for at least 2 months. But it ended up being the greatest thing that ever happened to me, Sue. So if anyone out there has had a lot of diversity, no matter what area it's in, these things happen to catapult us to our divine purpose. And then I think we find, because I've found now, all of the things that I had experience in business. I mean, it's a business, the music industry, running a band, getting road crew, marketing the gigs, all the experience that I had helped me to be able to do what I do today. And so it's been an extremely deep experience in life to be brave enough, because there were times when I felt afraid to go to a new country and start from scratch and do all the crazy things I've done. But I've done it, and I'm glad I do, because you've always got to stretch yourself, because as you stretch yourself, your oscillation, your vibration it blossoms into awesomeness. How's that segue?
Oh, and that was an awesome segue. I love that. So this is so amazing, Michele. Now let me ask you, I love just everything you've shared here, but not everyone has that in them. So where did that come from? Like, you have this near fatal accident, And instead of becoming a victim, and which a lot of people do, right? It kind of things like this will floor you, and people don't know how to come back from something. Talk to us about that moment where you were like, no, I'm going to pick myself up and I'm going to turn this into something powerful.
Oh, I've never had a thought like that, Sue. I was suicidal. I was like,
Right.
in fact,
Yeah. So then where does the shift happen,
the
right?
shift
Where you,
happened through a book, Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. Somebody put on the audio tape because they were trying to cheer me up, because I was not just in physical agony. I was just like, if I could move, I'd just kill myself. There's no point if I can't be on a stage running around. I probably wouldn't have killed myself, but I was extremely depressed. I didn't just jump out of it. What happened was, I didn't want to listen to anything positive, because when you're feeling in a low vibration and people come in like they're farting daisies,
right.
you don't, it doesn't feel good. You just want everyone to commiserate or just go away. Anyway, so I wasn't interested in the book at all, except for one chapter where Napoleon Hill's little infant son was born completely deaf, 100% deaf. And he said, I would go into my little son's room every night for years and do affirmations, auto suggestion. And there was something in me that just clicked. If there was a moment, that was the moment. But it didn't last. So that moment that I just knew something, I knew that if I did an affirmation, if I created an affirmation, that my mind, because I always knew that my willpower and my mind was very, very strong. And I knew that I could do it because I believe that we can be self-healed. I'd never even thought about that before. And so I did. You have to do it in the now. For those, everyone knows what affirmations are today, but that back in the day, they didn't. An affirmation is something positive you say to yourself about yourself that you want to have happen that hasn't happened yet. Now, the thing is, they didn't even have the proof then that our thoughts become things. They didn't know about that then. Neuroscience has proven now, if your doubting mind doesn't believe what you're saying, it spits it out. So it doesn't go into the treasury of your subconscious mind, where spirit lives, where you live, where your higher self lives, where miracles happen, where so many miracles happen. I've seen them now, so many, it's just insane. And so I am healed, but I wasn't healed. I know I am. I didn't know I am. I was. I love myself. I am my friend. No, I kept saying it over and over again. Didn't work. So I gave up. But then after the next operation, which was 17 and a half hours, believe it or not, I started feeling less pain because I wasn't in traction anymore. And so I could sort of think a little clearer, get more clarity in my mind. And I was like, why is this affirmation getting spat out? They say you've got to emotionalize it. How can I emotionalize when I don't believe it? The doctors are telling me if you do walk again, you'll have severe physical limitations, blah, blah, blah. One leg might be a little shorter than the other, and just all these things. So when you're being told that by the experts, your self-talk of positivity is very, very hard to believe. So I realized, Sue, I'm a singer-songwriter. You cannot get a song out of your head. Advertising agencies spend billions every year on jingles. They're smart. They know that once you hear that jingle, you're going to remember their product forever. Like forever. So I got somebody to get a blank cassette, and I always had a little cassette player with me because whenever I wanted to write a song, I didn't want it to go into the ethers forgotten. So I would sing it. I would sing it onto the cassette player so that I could, most songwriters do that. I got the idea of that from Mick Jagger, actually. He woke up with a great song, Jumping Jack Flash or something like that. And he was going to go back to sleep, and he's like, no, I better sing it down onto the tape just in case.
Right.
So I thought, I'll do that from now on. So anyway, I started singing, I am healed, I know I am. I love myself, I am my friend, over and over and over again. And I went on to have miraculous healing. Journalists were coming out of the woodwork interviewing me. The doctors were even saying, we're not supposed to say this, but it's like a miracle what's happened to her. So that one little affirmation song went straight into the treasury of my subconscious mind. The lyrics, the affirmations, the left side of the brain, the creative melody into the right side of the brain, straight into the subconscious mind. And it lifts up your oscillation immediately. You don't have to sing it. You just have to listen to it. I've had my songs in many, many different languages. Millions upon millions of people globally have downloaded my music, and it's still becoming, even my older songs like Magnet to Money are really popular. We've got an app now called the Magnet to Money app, which has got daily meditations, visualizations, a sleep program, the Magnet to Money song notifications. And people globally are just absolutely loving that, because even if you don't remember just to listen to a positive song, you've got all these affirmations with the music, and you can just, for a cup of coffee a month, have this app remind you that you are a magnet to money, that everything is possible for you, that you are divine spirit, and to look up, not down.
Oh my God, this is so amazing, Michele. So, let me ask you, because you're making a profound impact. You have touched millions of lives. Your songs have been downloaded millions of times. There have been countless healings from this work that you do. I'm getting the chills just talking about it. But what are your thoughts on divinity here? Do you feel that divinity was somehow at play with you there as you were coming up with this?
Oh, of course. 100%. I mean, touring the world with Bob Proctor and helping him get a best-selling book and all this stuff, and long before The Secret, all these Deepak Chopra and people wanting to work with me. Jack Canfield, back in the day, I was singing and speaking at all these events globally. And then, what happens is, as your oscillation becomes a faster oscillation, you start to feel your spirit. And I would feel it like heart glow, like it was coming out of my chest. And I said to Bob Proctor once in Kuala Lumpur, I said, I've got to find someone who knows God. I think they're called enlightened beings. I've got to find a teacher. And he said, go searching. So 14 years of searching for God, which is within you already. But I wanted someone who knew God. And I finally found a fully enlightened teacher. I went off the grid for 10 years, Sue, and just meditated and learnt with her and traveled wherever she said we could meet up with her. And I ended up becoming enlightened myself, which is why now I teach deep mysticism and meditation. And I still do the positive thinking. There's so many different tools that people can use. And I've got students in over 32 countries worldwide. And they are coming from all walks of life, because they want to improve their life, and they want to find out who they are, what their true purpose is. And they want to feel like they're doing something, making a difference in the world. And as you awaken more and more and more, you can do more, you have more, you create manifestation of God through you, of wealth, of great wealth, of whatever is required for you to be able to do what you want to do. And so I absolutely love what I do. And I just feel that it's such a privilege to be able to practice meditation, to be able to teach it, to be able to transmit light. And people can just go to themysticalexperience.com and watch tons of free videos about every topic to do with metaphysics and mysticism and spirituality you can imagine, from what is karma to Kriya Yoga to everything. Everything that I went through, I teach, because it's not, a lot of enlightened teachers in the past from thousands of years ago would make you wait. You're not ready yet. You're still too egotistical. They would make you wait until they transmitted the light or gave the special teachings. And so I come from the school of BS to that. Let everyone know the truth. Let everyone. I love this little story where a monk in Tibet, his teacher gave him a mantra, his mantra, special mantra just for him. And he said, don't tell anyone else what the mantra is, because you will never become enlightened if you show anyone else the mantra. And he said, it's that powerful, the mantra, to his teacher? And he said, yes, it is. And you've waited 4 years to receive this mantra. So immediately the little monk ran out into the streets. He's yelling out his mantra, everybody, this will help you become enlightened. And within a day, the monk became enlightened, because you've got to share God. You've got to share spirit, because we are all this beautiful golden tapestry connected to each other powerfully. Your divine presence is exactly the same as my divine presence. It's not a separate being. It's not duality. So yes, I believe in divinity.
Wow. Well,
So
that was
there.
an amazing now, okay, Michele, so give us something really practical here, because there's so many naysayers and so many people who don't believe, okay, there's no way I can, the law of attraction or whatever. They don't believe in it. So what is a really practical way to just begin? I know this takes years of work and, doing that kind of inner work, but something really practical to just start kind of leaning into it.
Well, the app, we just spent 2 years developing it. We've just launched it. Magnet2moneyapp.com, or just go to Apple. It's only for iPhones, this particular app. And it has everything there for you with the instructions, and you just have to listen and put on your notifications. So you don't have to do anything. So the reason I wanted to create an app like this with my team was because of the fact that people give up too easily. They say, oh, it's not working. It's not working. And another thing, if you want to know more about the science, I've got scientific studies from Johns Hopkins, Berkeley, about music and healing and the mind. And you can go and check out the scientific studies, because they're not lying to you. That's not woo-woo. But back in the day when I was teaching this originally, you had to come from a place of faith, or a place of, I've done everything else I can, so I may as well just give it a go.
Right.
So I just recommend that. But of course, I've got tons of free stuff to give to your audience, your loving blossom of awesomeness audience, so they can experiment. Because everything I teach, it sounds deep, right? But we do it in a very lighthearted, irreverent way to keep everyone. I don't want people to get serious. I don't want them to be serious about talking about money. People are so freaked out about talking about money. They'd rather talk about their sex life, for goodness sake. You've got to lighten up, and as you lighten up, and as you just listen to the music, you will lighten up. It works. It works. This is why Bob Proctor, who I worked with for, many, many years, this is why as soon as he saw me on stage singing the affirmation songs, he said, you're going to travel with me all over the world. This, I can't believe no one has done affirmations to music before, he said, because all of us teachers, that's what we teach. Visualization, affirmations. He said, this is just crazy. No one's done it. And I think, talking about divinity, the way it happened, all those experiences that I had as a songwriter, as a singer, all of those things came so that I could have the healing, because you get a download. It was a divine satori experience when I went, I can do it with song. I'll just create a song, create music. So there's like over 400 now. I've even got little, for Dr. Chopra asked me to do one for kids. So I've got one called Self-Esteem Songs for Kids, with little baby animals talking about themselves and singing along with me, just for kids 5 and under. So
Wow, this is all so amazing. So now, can you, Michele, talk to us just with, your wisdom and expertise? Help us understand I know the book, The Magic of Affirmations, but talk to us about affirmations,
well,
the
affirmation.
power of it.
Well, the mind is a very, very complex thing. And we all think that all the thoughts that we have are our own thoughts, and they are not. The collective consciousness of this planet, every single person who's ever lived here, and you've all lived here many times, by the way, all those thoughts become like this massive brick wall surrounding you and not allowing you, when you don't feel, it's like, oh, wow. I've had people come to me and they've said, I've done everything I could think of. I'm a good person. I'm doing the affirmations. I'm doing visualization, but I'm still broke, or I'm still not healed completely. What can I do? And you feel for them because you know it isn't that challenging to have just a 360-degree change within 6 months. And I don't mean enlightenment. I don't mean going that deep. I'm talking about improvement in your material life and your confidence within yourself. It doesn't take much effort. So I love to teach people how to begin to do that, because the mind can you can easily maneuver the mind, and people don't realize that they can do that. So when you're adding positive affirmations, you don't even have to believe them when it's through song. I mean, how many times did everyone hear the Toyota song? You didn't go and buy a Toyota. And the reason all Australians eat Vegemite and everyone else in the world hates it is because we sang the Vegemite ditty. And I don't know if I'm allowed to do that on air, so I won't sing it, copyright or whatever. But music changes you, and you can make up your mind. You can make a decision. Making a decision, even if you don't know what to do or you don't know what you want, what I'd like you to do is, first of all, write down what you do want. You know what you don't want, right? You don't want to focus on what you don't want. You want to focus on what you do want and put it in an affirmation as if it's already happened. If it's health, I am healed. I know I am. I love myself. I am my friend. I've got many, many CDs for every type of thing, from motivation to success to healing to creating miracles, all these different affirmation songs that are very, very simple. Because keep it simple and spiritual, and you can do anything. You just have to make a decision that you do want to change. And even if you don't know how to, we're going to give you those free products, and you'll be able to go step by step. Anyone can learn anything. I mean, look at YouTube. I think they've even got rocket science and brain science on brain surgery on YouTube these days. You can learn anything. Everybody has the power within them, the divine presence, which is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, that the mind can create so many things. That's why as monks, we would study, and they've been doing it for thousands of years, certain patterns, and they do that in Reiki as well, certain patterns to stop your thought. Because once your thought stops, you rise in consciousness. And see, most people, I look at it this way, they've got a diamond, which is their soul, which is their immortal consciousness, and it is blocked with emotions, with past experiences. And you wonder why you can't feel intuitive clarity, because you don't know what to do, when to do it all the time, is because this is blocked. Having light transmitted to you and having a teacher that can do that, and because in the mystical experience, I transmit light to all of these students, and some of them never ever speak English, but they just want the light transmitted and their lives improve. And I'm not just talking about people that are interested in spirituality. I'm talking about doctors who started realizing they have to teach meditation. They have to learn meditation because they're being told they've got to start saying to heart, people with problems with their heart, etc., to learn to meditate because it'll slow down your blood pressure. When I first went to a doctor to have a full checkup, when I was going for my green card, when I came to America, and I have to have physical, he said, your blood pressure is so low, you're either dying and you don't look like you're dying, or you're a deep meditator, because he was a meditator. So your blood pressure becomes very low. But there's just, it's challenging to be able to let you know everything all at once. I would definitely recommend getting the app. It's just the price of a cup of coffee. If you've got an iPhone, if you don't have an iPhone, get one. And the reason we like the iPhone best is because there are so many different types of software with the Android phones. It's very challenging to get a really good app running perfectly. As I said, we've worked tirelessly for 2 years to create this app. It's very, very, it's making an app is not a simple thing, but I love to stretch myself, and I got a great team together, and we're really happy with it because it's already changing so many people's lives. I just know that you can do anything. I know you can do anything, no matter who you are or where you are. Once your diamond starts shining and you start being able to feel your higher self, your divine is in every cell of your being. Everyone has it. The minute your soul leaves the body, you go cold and blue very fast. I've been with many people as they're leaving the body. And that's nothing to
Wow.
be scared of either, because you never die. You're
Right.
immortal consciousness.
Wow. I love that, Michelle. Now, so as an enlightened being, you've done the work. I know one of your things that you kind of teach is helping people find purpose. So, what is your advice to someone who's lost, as someone, just bringing a higher level of consciousness to this? What is your advice for that person?
Very good question. When you don't know where to begin and you don't know what your divine purpose is, well, first of all, your main purpose is enlightenment. That's it. That's why you came to this planet. You just don't remember. So every single lifetime that somebody lives, they learn certain things. They learn how to run, walk, speak, mathematics, maybe play a piano. There's so many things that people learn, and those gifts keep building up each lifetime, which is why you have a Mozart who's doing the most amazing music composition at the age of 3 or 2.5, because he brought that with him from a past life. So there's so many gifts that everyone have that are dormant. They're not awake. Their oscillation isn't awake enough, and their diamond is too blocked for them to feel it. And God's knocking at the door, your divine self, saying, you can have this, you can have this. All you've got to do is lift yourself up. How do you lift yourself up? You've got to do it on your own, but you can't do it alone. And I just know that there are so many tools out there these days. Even if you're not interested in enlightenment, at least have an experience of, go to requestdivinelight.com and you can see how I could assist you immediately one-on-one. Or you could become a student and just, we've got a special, I think the guys have put together for you, for your group. They can have it for just $8 for the first month, just to experience it, to see what it's like. Or just listen to the products that you're being gifted, that by myself and Bob Proctor, who left the body last year. Wonderful products that will uplift you. I have experienced and witnessed people from all over the world, from all different levels of material, to see them grow. All you have to do is just don't give up, and just know it's not just you doing it. If you don't have enough faith in yourself, don't worry about that. Just begin by just listening to the music. And then as your diamond becomes clearer and clearer, the obstacles, the chains that have been holding you back, you begin to have clarity. The opportunities, so you're oscillating here. Your opportunity that you want is up here. You've got to bring your oscillation up through the positive thinking, through visualization. And you don't have to do too much work for immediate shift to happen. So it always sounds so simple to people, but once they actually experience it, they just can't believe it. They're just like, wow, I don't even know who I was a year ago.
Wow. Yeah. And I know, I'm always just positivity, and people are like, oh, affirmations don't work. But it's like, well, yeah, they do, because it's all energy, right? And when you're like around a negative person, you feel down. When you're around someone positive, it uplifts you. And it's that same idea that I just am not certain why so many people struggle with it. But it's amazing what you're doing. Michelle, now tell me, what is like the higher calling for you, right? What is that? Like I believe we all have a higher calling. What is yours?
To assist people to become enlightened. That's it. To bring their
Wow.
oscillation up, to relieve suffering in the world, any sort of suffering. I don't care what the suffering is. I mean, we have helped so many people since the lockdown. I mean, even, giving money, helping people, whatever, when I'm sincerely guided, we just do whatever we can. And I love the mystical experience students from all over the world. They have helped so many people, and we've done GoFundMe's for people. And because it's like, if I can feel sincerely that someone really, really needs that help and they're not just being a victim, because I won't help someone who is just feeling sorry for themselves because they will just continually ask for help. I'm talking about people that sincerely, there's so many people I would just say to this person, how many children have you got? 3. You're a single woman, right? Yep. And you've got no work now? That's right. Okay, we're going to give you some money. How much do you need? Oh, no, don't do that. Those are the sort of people I really want to help.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
we love to do that.
Oh, that's beautiful. And now, Michele, I'm sure, I think I already know your response to this, but I believe, it's one thing if it's like some sort of cataclysmic event, right? And it's beyond someone's control, like you said, but so much suffering seems self-induced or taken like out longer than need be.
Well, that's a more complicated answer because of the fact that there are so many factors. It's not just the person, it's the environment, it's what they believe, it's how clogged their diamond is. If their diamond is clogged, they'll believe anything the negative thought tells them to believe. I'm not worthy. I'll never be able to do this. You've got to give yourself a spiritual ass kicking, and just say, okay, that's enough now. Next, stop. I am just going to be positive today. I'm going to listen to this stuff, even if I don't like it, even if it makes me cringe. I'm going to listen to this music all day, every day for a week, just to have an experience to see what will happen. Just experiment with it, because you can't blame yourself for negative thinking, because the world has so many different levels of evolution. There are people on this planet that still believe women are, nothing. There are people that still want a war over oil or money, and that is the lowest level of evolution. So this particular planet has many, many different levels of consciousness, and so you are being sometimes very much seduced by those different levels of consciousness, and you must become a strong swimmer and get your ass out of there. Quick, smart. If you're in a relationship that's abusive, don't say to yourself, oh, I can't afford to leave him or her. Just go, and you will be looked after. And just say to yourself, even if you don't believe it, the divine presence has gone before me and prepared the way. Thank you, God, for my beautiful life. I am 100% God governed. And when you say statements like that, even if you're saying them out of anger or fury or frustration, the divine will run to you, because the divine is animating every cell of your being. And the divine wants you to have everything that will bring you happiness, because the divine lives through you as you. And so then you can have the most beautiful relationship in the world with your higher self. And there's no love greater. It is beautiful. It is a privilege. And you just feel the Shakti, the waves of ecstasy go through you. And you know that that's not you doing it. You've just decided to keep the light on.
Mm. Wow. Okay. And now, Michele, so what is the one thing that people are missing? Like, if there's one commonality amongst people that keeps them down, what are people missing?
I think that they're just missing themselves, their higher self. They don't realize the power that is within them. They think that their name or what they do is who they are. And that's just something that you do. You don't say, oh, I'm a teacher. My name's Sue. I'm this awesome blossoming podcast person. You are a high being. Every single person is a high being, even if you're not consciously aware of it right now. You all have that power, because it's not you. It is you just doing a little bit of effort every day, consistently, to allow the divine to open the window for you, and then the doors, and then the walls will come down, the ceiling's gone, and you will be who you are in that light. And you have the power to do that. Get away from people that are telling you you're not worthy, because it's very, very challenging. And there are so many people that are spiritually minded, and with their heart, I should say, spiritually, heart and mind's pretty much the same. And they don't think they're worthy, or they think, oh, I shouldn't have wealth because that's being selfish. And they've got no idea. I love Yogananda. You know Yogananda, autobiography of a yogi.
Yep.
I just love the way he said, you know, in India, he said it's poverty, but great spirituality. In the West, there is wealth, but not real spirituality, not enough of the real enlightenment gig. And he said everyone should have a balance of both. And that's what I agree. And that's what I teach as well. If you're going through suffering because you're broke, you are not going to be able to pick yourself up. So then I assist people. Let's look after that first in your life. Let's get you, so the different Zooms and the different teachings I do, and I do a lot of free Zooms, are on different topics that people really require. People can ask me any question. It's like a satsang. They can come forth with any question. See, I've got this huge screen in front of me with people from all over the world, and we have such a blast. And everyone is uplifted afterwards, and it's just it's a beautiful, beautiful experience. And you can become part of anything. If it's not myself or Sue or someone else, read a good book, do something, but don't just stay stuck, because you think you're staying stuck, but you're always moving forward or backwards. You want to be moving forward with the wind at your back.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so Michele, I cannot believe just so much wisdom here that you've shared with us. So first of all, I want to say thank you so much for your time today. You've been so amazing and so awesome. I'm going to have links to all of your stuff for people, and I know there's some freebies for listeners and things as well.
Lots of freebies. I have about $400 worth of freebies.
Oh, that is amazing. Thank you so much. I'm going to have links for everyone for all of that. And now this is going to be redundant because you've already said so many amazing things. But in closing, what is your one message you would like to leave everyone with?
That you are already enlightenment. It is already within you. It's not something that you look for or search for. Look in the mirror. It's there. It's you. You have the power of the divine within you. Everything is possible for you, but you have to make a decision. Just make a decision that, yes, Michele, say it right now. Yes, Michele, I am going to change my life. Yes, Michele, I am going to uplift my consciousness. I love my beautiful life. Thank you for my beautiful life. And perhaps write down what a beautiful life looks like to you. What would that look like? And that's a powerful thing, to start writing down what it is as if it's already happened. Get a visual board. I mean, I'm in this beautiful place I live in that I own, that I had a visual board of, and it's in the mountains and there's no one around, and there's snow outside right now. And it's, I mean, I feel like not Mary Poppins maybe, but maybe Snow White. I go outside, there's squirrels everywhere, rabbits, deer. It's crazy. So everything is possible.
Oh, I love it, Michele. You've been so amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sue, and thank you for your wonderful podcast and to bring positivity to the world. You're really on purpose, girl.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. That means so much to me. You're awesome. Thank you.
Before you go, please, if you want to receive some amazing high vibrational success meditation, tons and tons of free products, go to micheleblood.com/links.